What is up, team? Hopefully, you're having a great day on this lovely Wednesday. I know if you guys typically come to the Saturday one, I'm not going to have a Saturday meal planning party this week because I decided I want to take it off. So I'm going to take Saturday off, first one in forever, and I'm going to go magnet fishing. I'm really pumped. Anyway, so we get a giant magnet, really, really strong, chuck it into some water, and pull out some treasure that people have lost. So that'll be fun. My brother and I are going to go. Anyways, what I want to share today is this idea on cravings and how do we navigate cravings. Okay, now there's multiple, there is multiple, there are multiple trains of thought when it comes to cravings and how you kind of go about them. I'm going to share with you why I think the way I'm going to share with you is the better way. And in my experience, has helped me a lot as someone who is not immune to cravings and problems like you guys have. I just might be a couple chapters ahead. So think of this. Let's start with at the very beginning. What is a craving? What is a craving? A craving is not your body wanting something. It is you wanting something. And so there's a major distinction. Why is this? Has anybody in the history of the universe ever mental nostalgia? I love that. I love that. Um, has anybody in the history of the universe ever craved kale before? Late night, I gotta have it. No. Chicken breast? No. What have they craved? High, sugary, mentally nostalgic foods. I love that phrase. I'm definitely going to put that in my notes to use. You never crave carrots, likely. Okay, unless you're pregnant and you got some pica going on. Okay, and so it starts with what you want, and a craving continues to grow as you give it energy. Very much so in the same way as have any of you had a little minor inconvenience, like minor inconvenience, and then you continue to think on that minor inconvenience and you start diving into the detail and you start maybe exacerbating a little bit, embellishing some of the issue that make it bigger than what it is. And then you go from a little issue to a massive issue because we gave that thing legs. And so with cravings, I think of it very much in the same vein. A craving is something that you want to have, not that you need, that you want. And so if it's something that is that is something that would deter you from your goals, which we would consider as healthy food. Healthy does not mean like I don't eat this stuff because I don't like it, but there's like Nutella in front of me. This could sit in front of me all day, no problem. I don't like Nutella. But if you put a Reese's Fast Break in front of me, or lemon meringue pie, like we were talking about a second ago before I started recording, you put one of those in front of me, I'm gonna have a hard time going, man, that sounds good. My mouth will start to water. I'll keep looking at it, and eventually I'll want some. And I might have too much. And so with cravings, what we want to do is we want to treat them just like any passing thought that you might have and not give it fuel. Some people might say, well, if you have a craving and you give yourself a little, that'll be fine. And I would also say that if somebody has a problem with food and not stopping cravings, what would be the difference between that and cocaine addiction besides availability? Somebody with a cocaine problem, you don't want to go, okay, cool, here's a little bit of cocaine. You might want to go, let's not have cocaine, man. Let's find what that thing you have is trying to accomplish. Cocaine might be, I don't know, a sense of energy, maybe dependence, maybe happiness, whatever. I don't claim to know how cocaine feels. I've never done it. Okay. But what we don't want to do is give it some so that we kind of keep feeding that craving. Some's better than none. And eventually you turn around next month and you're back to where you were before. So when these cravings come in that lead us away from our goals, which would deem it not healthy in our definition of healthy versus not healthy, foods that lead us toward or away from our goals. What we want to do is let that thought come and go. We don't want to find foods that help with our craving that are healthier, like dark chocolate instead of real chocolate. But what you can do, and this is all a matter of framing it for yourself, is if it's food that you're craving that you have a major urge over, and you look at your plate and your food sucks, like it's boring and it's bland and it's like baked, no flavored chicken with plain rice and broccoli with a little bit of salt on it, yippee-ki-yay. Maybe the problem isn't the craving, maybe it's the food. This food. Maybe this food's excellent and you want some of that stuff though. That's fine as long as it fits your plan. As long as you hit your targets in going about doing so. But if it doesn't, if it's like, well, I want this craving and I need to have it, and then oversteps what your healthy food options would be, that's where that craving becomes a problem. That's going to inhibit your progress if we keep giving into our immediate gratification need to solve a craving. Does that make sense? So the game doesn't become not ever having food you like. It's not what we want. How can we get food that we enjoy and eat it in a way that makes sense? That separates ourselves from a craving, and then it goes from, I need this food, to this is what sounds good today. And that very well could be the beautiful part of all this. It very well could be the same thing. It could be, I want to have lemon meringue pie today. Perfect. And it sounds good. Amazing. But if you go to 3 different stores to try to find it, and then that leads you to over consuming your calories, or late night, we come in, snag something, or when we're stressed, we start digging into the pantry. Man, that's something we need to stop. So you see how with a lot of the stuff that you're going to notice in weight loss, and then I'll hop off and start helping the people that are here. A lot of the stuff that we do in weight loss has a much higher level of intent of what we're doing instead of what we are doing. How do you identify a craving versus you thinking you want the food because you're low on some micronutrient? Most of the time, and that's a great question. Most of the time, and again, not in a meanie pants way, is a lot of the time, because the example that was given was chocolate for magnesium. There's dozens of other fruits and vegetables that give you that. It just so happens that maybe chocolate has some too. But in that same vein, you could have picked all those other ones. Why is the craving always the higher calorie, higher sugary one? See what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily, because I get what you're saying. How do you tell the difference? And a lot of it is like in your hardest of heart, no one craves kale. Probably. And if you're needing the vitamins for it, we can pre-plan for that in your food ahead of time, or take a daily vitamin to solve that problem, or just create variety from your vegetables to be able to help you. But it is this nice little this is where it gets a little woohoo-y of finding the balance between both. Having foods you enjoy, giving into cravings. Having a beer every once in a while, being alcoholic. There's that fine line. And there is a distinction, and we know it when we see it. But the most important part is it boils down to intent. Intent on what you're doing and why. And there's no need, by the way, to explain it to anybody, including myself. So if I see something on your thing and you hit your targets with it, that's how you win, man. That is a strategy for success. But if there's ice cream in your plan, in your tracker, and you're way over, we got to go, instead of going in and giving in, sometimes when we're in fat loss, how can we make that fit instead? So we can create balance and win on both ends. Win on the end of managing our cravings and need for instant gratification. And furthermore, also doing it in a way that hits our goals so we don't feel regret for eating something we enjoy. That leads to the divide between good and bad food, which is part of the reason why we have this program set up how it is. Other programs, and I swear I'll hop off so I can help other people in here, but Other programs want to demonize these foods so that you don't eat them anymore and that you don't have any sort of, I hate calling it cheat meals. I don't like that word, but eating food you like, right? Higher processed food, pick whatever buzzword you want. Those foods, we know what we're talking about. Those things, they want to demonize them, saying if you give somebody one, they're going to fall off the whole thing. And I would say that's the major problem. Is cool. We can have people tiptoe around eating just ingredients forever, which is a smart move. It's the best idea. But then we have to have a conversation about adherability too, right? This is like when the 18-year-old gives parenting advice. It's like, hey, you don't put kids to bed yet, so you don't know it, right? You can speak from theory, but you can't speak from reality. It's like the coach who got certified might have the best training tactics in the world to help people, but they don't have any experience to know how people actually work, right? So it's like, though, it's like that stuff. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. Anyway, I'm hop off. I got some scary I got to share with these guys that we're fixing right now. And hopefully you found that valuable and hope to see you here next time. Bye.